Boys, the last week in DMM mode has been insane. I've got some of the coolest clips I've ever got in this game in this video for you guys, but before we even jump in to the week's progress, I've got one clip that just stands out above the rest. One clip so crazy that I have to put it in here before we even get started. Alright, just a wee bit of context for this one. I was running about Edgeville with the Porcupine build we made at the end of the last video. That is Porcupine, Sigil, Recoils and Vengeance. It doesn't matter if people are attacking you in max gear. If you have this setup, you have a chance of taking them down. The more damage they deal to you, the more they get wrecked themselves. Their HP bar just kind of disappears. But I seen this dude who looked like an absolute feast, not this dude who we did before, and I was like, you know what, let's skull up and try to kill him. Didn't manage to get the kill, but I did manage to get away. Hopped into a different world. I was about to lose my skull when this dude here gets on me. I'm skulled, I shouldn't really be able to run through a safe zone, but I'm like, if I don't try this, I'm gonna die. Headed through the safe zone and managed to escape. Now, when you're in a safe zone in this version of DMM mode, you can get away, but the guards deal a lot of damage, so if they keep spawning beside you, you get completely wrecked. Somehow managed to get through the safe zone without taking much damage. I should have been out of the woods, but I got extremely unlucky. There was another dude PKing at the other side, so ran straight from one PKer into another one, and this is not just any PKer. This is your boy Mad Mint Cow. I ran straight into a dude who lives in the wilderness. YouTuber, streamer, definitely check out his content if you haven't seen him before. I'll put a link in the description, but I ran into Mint Mad Cow, and he starts wrecking me, and he's in much better gear. He's looking a bit scarier than that last dude, and I just got extremely unlucky here. But you know, your boy Bekt has one more trick up his sleeve, so I juked it back into the safe zone to try get away from this dude as well. It worked for the first one, maybe it'll work for the second one. Let's see how it goes. And there it is, boys. Through one safe zone, through a second safe zone, ran away from not one but two PKers, but this story doesn't end there. Just as I was leaving Varrock, I see another dude on our tail. Drink a sip of potion. He just potted up. He's not skulled yet, but all that changes when he catches up. And have a look at the inventory. We have no foods, and we only have 3 sips left on a Zaradome and Brew. It is not looking good at all. But I spot this wee agility shortcut, hop over it, and I managed to get a gap in this dude. Managed to run all the way south. My heart was pumping out of my chest, but we managed to get the teleport away. This is why I love DMM mode. It's just so exciting whenever you get chased down like that. Even watching it back is giving me goosebumps. We got away from not one, not two, but 3 PKers. We ran through not one, but 2 safe zones. Went all the way from Edgeville to Lumbridge and managed to get the escape with 0 foods left. My most fun moment of the tournament, but we have a lot more fun to get through in this video. Loads of really cool clips. So let's jump back to where we left off and crack on with the DMM mode progress. In the last video we created the Porcupine, a build so crazy that it just puts fear in the max account, so bad that people would no longer attack me in the biggest bracket. It is of course the Porcupine Sigil with Recoil with Vengeance. With the Aldebo specs I was using, I did use Gmaul a wee bit as well. But in this video, we are making that hard decision I talked about at the end of the last one. I was saying that I might have to drop down a bracket. I might have to reset all of my stats down to level 1 to try this out in the lower worlds, because people in the highest brackets would just no longer fight me. It was pretty funny. So I decided we would remove our last 2 lives to restart this account back to level 3 and then have some fun in the lower brackets. But I found a pretty broken mechanic here that gives you unlimited lives in DMM mode. When I was going to restart my account, I wanted to have some fun, run about the safe zones and see how long it would take the guards to kill me to lose these last 2 lives. But I actually found a way to never lose any lives in DMM mode. If you run into a safe zone and run about for long enough, it will actually null out the damage from the person who attacked you, so it'll be as if an NPC has just killed you, and you will keep your lives, which is a little bit broken. But what if you run into safe zone with not much food remaining and the guards try to kill you? You can actually just safe spot a guard and hop to a new world, and that will also null out the damage. I obviously didn't want to show this before DMM mode had ended because it's completely broken and makes the 3 life system pointless. But here the guards were completely shredding me. The boy had dealt 9 damage, but just safe spotted them, hopped to the next world and then died, and I kept my 2 lives. How broken is that? So losing my last lives actually was a wee bit harder than I thought. You could just keep them forever if you wanted, but I wanted to go back to the lower brackets, so I got this dude to finish me off. That lost my first life, and when I spawned at Grand Exchange, found the boy there, the man, the myth, the legend himself, EVscape, and he agreed to take my final life off me. But I had some fun with him first. Ran about into a safe zone, could have hopped here so he wouldn't have been able to kill me, but I did want to get to that first bracket, didn't want to mess about for too long. Died here, but as I'm in a safe zone here, didn't actually lose a life, and then I got him to finish me off finally to send us back to level 3. It's just so busted, this game mode. But big shout out to our boy EVscape for resetting us. We are now 3 combat. We need to get back up to use vengeance, we need to get back up to higher stats so we can actually damage people, and we need to have some fun PKing in these lower brackets. So yeah, let's crack on. There's level 20 Magician and level 85 Magician. There's level 50 range coming in and level 90 range, just flying through the stats here. Have a listen to this, boys. This sounds like I've gone completely crazy, but rock slugs are the best monster to kill in DMM mode. Now when you hear this you're probably thinking I'm crazy, but every single Slayer monster in the game has a 1 in 200 chance of rolling a superior creature. Sorry, everyone that has a superior creature, that's 1 in 200 chance. And every superior creature has a 100% chance of rolling the DMM mode table. That means you could probably farm PvP weapons quicker here than you could in the wilderness. It just doesn't make sense, you know. But the speed you kill these dudes is crazy fast, and with that there sigil that lets you pick your Slayer task, you could just kill these dudes over and over. If you farmed up some points you could make it so it auto applies the salt as well, or you could just use a brine saber to kill them because they've only 27 HP. The only annoying thing is there's a load of cave bugs in this room as well, but the cannon kills them too. I done 1 task here at the rock slugs and I got 2 superior creatures, 2 rolls of the best drop table in DMM mode. On my 2 rolls I got 2 tier 5 emblems and 2 supply drops, so this task took me about 10 minutes. And it got me over 3.5 million GP. If I had some more Slayer points, I would be sitting sweet down here. Oh no, we're not fully ready. We don't have all the melee stats, but we have just spotted the biggest feast ever in Edgeville. Have a look at this dude. Anybody else seen this, they'd run a mile, but this boy has an Armadillo skirt, Armadillo crossbow, DFS, Serpentine helm, Zuriel staff, full arms. He's even got a twisted buckler. He is risking over 1 billion GP in the regular version of the game in OSRS. If I could take this boy down, I will be sitting sweet. So I of course give him a wee bit of shit, got him to attack me, and you guys get to see the Porcupine in action for the first time here. Don't have all the stats, it's not perfectly built for this bracket, but have a look at this. Oh, he's running. That is too good. I'm sitting here in D-hide. He's in complete max setup. He's probably swapped a fortune over and he does not want to mess with this build. This build is the best thing in DMM mode. They say there's always a bigger fish in the sea, and these dudes in like max gear, the only thing they're scared of is the Porcupine. They just will not mess with it. This exact same thing was happening in the higher brackets, but I was hoping I'd be able to find people in this lower bracket that would actually fight me. He was fighting me, but he wised up halfway through when he seen the damage the Porcupine was just pumping in them. High scores is a thing. Maybe he's seen my magic in the high scores, but at this stage of the tournament, so many people have higher magic than me, so I'm not really sure what he means there. But yeah, he ran a country mile as soon as he seen the Porcupine. So I am nowhere near the maximum Porcupine it could be here. I'm only 88 combat. I've got 12 more combat levels to go in the melee stats before I'm like fully optimized, before I can properly wreck these dudes. But I was a wee bit worried that there'd be none left by the time I get there, so I hopped a new world, found this dude straight away who got on me, called Tier 1 or Off, and he's got like a Kodai wand, full Armadillo, DFS. He is risking an absolute bank as well. Start fighting back on him and I start pumping in a lot of damage. He's praying range, and I'm going to show you the full clip, but I do need to slow it down for you guys after because it looks pretty bad but it is actually exactly what I want, kind of with the Porcupine. So have a look at that. He takes us down with a 40-20, but I'm going to play it again for you guys in slow motion just so you can see what happened. So if I'm wrong, some PKers will correct me in the comment section, but if you look at his prayer, when I attack him, he is praying range. The Gmaul and the MSB both have a spec bar, so you can one tick from the MSB into the Gmaul and pop off both specs. I could have specced him 2 more times, but that's not the depressing part about this clip. I forgot to use Vengeance. This wasn't the Porcupine letting us down. This was just me being a big noob. If I had been a wee bit better here, popped off them specs, he might have died. If I had popped off them specs and venged, he probably would have been gone. I was definitely gone. I was definitely dead there. But I think it could have took him with me. A double death. I'm risking about 700k. That dude was risking over 100 mil. I did manage to pull off a few nice PKs in the lower brackets, and even I managed to chance a few dudes, but what was really funny about it is my reset was timed terribly. When I reset, there was loads of people in the lower brackets, in the 70 to 100 worlds, and even the lower worlds than that. But by the time I reset, trained back up, got my stats, and then PK'd for 1 day in this here bracket, it was really quiet. Over those 3 days, whenever I was like getting my stats up to PK in this bracket, loads of people moved through to the highest bracket. So if I had stayed where I was, I probably would have got a lot more clips, but don't regret it. Had loads of fun in this lower bracket, and it just makes me know what I want to do if they ever do another Deadman mode like this with the sigils. Gonna have to rush this build as soon as possible in the first few days, and then just get as many clips as possible with this build in the lower bracket when it's really popular, and then level up with everybody else. There was 68,500 accounts created this Deadman mode. That's a crazy amount of people logging in to this game mode, but after 2.5 weeks, most of the worlds are pretty quiet, so next time I'm just going to rush things as quick as possible, level up as fast as I can, get this build out of the way in the first few days, and then just spend like a week solid PKing, because 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks in, it is just very quiet. This here clip here was really funny. This dude completely chanced me, took away most of my food. I did chance him a wee bit in the middle actually as well, but with no food managed to run through a safe zone down to 25 HP, and I managed to get the escape, lost my skull, and then got away. Alrighty, there's been 4 days since the last clip. Was actually down in Yorkshire chilling with the missus for a few days, and we have fallen really far behind. So we need to max, need to get some gear upgrades, and we need to get ready for the final. Managed to get myself my fire cape back. That was super easy, and while I was away I was doing a wee bit of flipping on this account and on my alt. Just on the mobile, managed to make like 15 mil. I don't know if nobody flips in Deadman mode or what, but some of the margins were pretty crazy. Bought herself Dragon Claws in Deadman mode for 9 million GP. Super cheap, which was pretty awesome. So my plan for the finale is a bit weird. I've never seen anybody do this, but I am not going range tank. I'm going full range offensive with the Porcupine, with Vengeance, and with recoils and all that. I'm just going to try deal as much damage in a really small space of time, but the weapon I'm going to be using is dragon throwing knives. I don't think many people are going to be using these in the final, but I'm going to be rocking dragon throwing knives because they throw every 1.2 seconds, and it's really hard to change prayer when you're fighting against them because the attacks come in so fast. I'm going to go from them into the D-Claws and also into the Vesta Spear. So Vesta Spear for big high damage single hits. This is quite funny. I only had the claws for a few minutes, and I found this boy just up here fishing. Managed to chance him. He was pretty close to dying there, even through prey melee, but he didn't die, and he's completely stacked here. This in the last few days, but he launched a few Morgan's javelins at me, and I just jump in here. I've been maxing down in the brutal green dragons. Really cool training place. I haven't seen anybody here or at Myth Dragons for the entire Deadman mode, and I've trained most of my melee stats down here. It's just pretty chill, just nobody here at all, which is quite nice. Right, I am not really risking that much. Vesta Spear is pretty cheap at the minute. I can afford another one. If I lost the Dragon Claws, it would be pretty painful, but every few minutes some max dudes just keep popping their head through this tunnel, checking or scouting. I don't know what they're doing, but there's been like 5 of them during this one task. I'm rocking the Sigil of Aggression at the minute, which gives me 20% more damage to everything. I do take a wee bit more damage myself, but if somebody else pops their head through this cave, I'm going to try spec them out. I might lose my claws, but I might kill them as well. So yeah, I'm going to try get somebody, and I'll be back if I do. Talk about content, boys. Sculling up with Dragon Claw Risk in Deadman mode in the last few days with the Aggression Sigil active and no possibility of escape, or at least no freezes, no teleports away that will work. You can't teleport into G with a skull. But I have one escape that has done me good this Deadman mode, and that is just to leg it straight through the safe zone, and it seems to work every single time. It's like the perfect escape. The only problem with it is the guards hit increments. They go up from 17, then it hits you 19, 21. Just adds 2 damage every single time they hit you in a safe zone. But if they don't hit you many times, that is not too punishing at all. If it keeps spawning the range dude, it can wreck you, but if it spawns a few melee dudes, it's not too bad at all. Here I kind of panicked a little bit just because I had the Sigil of Aggression active while I was training. I thought about running back up into the gnome place, which would have been a terrible idea. But then I came to my senses. I'm really close to the Brutal Green Dragons. I've not seen anybody down there, so there must be very few people with the autos training completed. You only need to do the fire making bit, so it's really quick to do this, but nobody has it unlocked. Because I'm pretty fearless, I decided to just skull up a load of times in here. I spec this dude on 67 HP with the Aggression Sigil active, with no prayers up, and my claws just completely noodled. Spec'd a few other dudes, and my claws just weren't doing much for me. I did actually die with my dragon claws as well, spoiler for you guys. Kind of sucked a wee bit, you know. I was running through and it spawned, I think it was 5 or 6 ranged dudes in the row with no melees in a really short period of time, which didn't give me much time to eat or anything. So I lost the dragon claws, which would really suck because it's so close to the final. I wouldn't be able to afford to buy them back, but I ran back and they were just sitting on the floor, so that was super convenient. Didn't lose them for very long. Oh, I just love this game mode. You go out, you get completely destroyed and die and lose your claws, and then if you're lucky they're just sitting there waiting for you. Escaping through a safe zone, definitely recommend it, 10 out of 10. You'd think dying with the dragon claws once would have been enough to make me wise up a wee bit, but I kept seeing these dudes just running about without prey melee up, risking absolute bank, and knowing that the Aggression Sigil is active and the claws can hit so high in this game mode, I just had to spec them every time I seen them. Unfortunately, didn't manage to take any of them down, but none of them managed to get my dragon claws either, so that was pretty sweet. It was just 2 days before the finals and I decided we need to max out here, so I got 99 HP, 99 strength, level 99 attack and level 99 defense coming in the account, completely maxed, looking like a bit of a beast. We are pretty stocked for the finals, but listen to this, boys. I made the biggest noob mistake coming up to the finals. I thought these Deadman mode servers went down 1 hour before the actual PvP bit, before the 1v1s. So it caught me completely off guard when the servers went down 24 hours before that. So I was sitting flipping on not just this account, but 2 alts as well, and had 28 million GP worth of items in my Grand Exchange. A load of GP sitting in Grand Exchange on this account that I just could not access. I'll show you that in a second. But I also had like 50 mil on the other 2 accounts. Flipping in the final day was just insane. I was buying range pots at 5k a pop and selling them at 27k a piece, making like 22k profit each. Ended up just printing mils upon mils in the final, what would have been the final day. I thought I had 2 days to go, and then it just got wiped. So we could have had crazy gear in the finals, but because I'm a big noob, we just had okay gear. Looking at this is a bit painful actually. We were selling recoils at 100k each. We had 18.8 mil just in that set of recoils, and then I sold 8 at the top for 200k a pop, 1.6 mil. Sold a Statius Warhammer, did buy a load of Onyx Bolts. I was going to get myself just a crossbow, you know, because I didn't know if Dragon Knives would kind of be countered a wee bit by Rings of Suffering. Oh, you don't pull up the carpet, bad cat. But yeah, we got into the final, and as you guys might already know, the finals was a little bit questionable. There was a lot of stuff went wrong with this final. When I logged into this world, I was the only player online for the first 10 minutes, and I was like, oh, this is a bit weird. Is there nobody else playing the final? Looked at the people online in the other worlds. There was 4 in one world and 2 in the other, and I think 1 in the final one, maybe even not in the like Australian world. So there was only 5 people in the final for the first 10 minutes, and I was like, hell yeah, that improves my chances a lot. Turned out Jetix had completely messed up who was qualified to the finals. Loads of alts were qualified and not their main accounts. So after a wee bit, Torvesta logged into this world in level 3 and Perp logged in level 36. Get this, boys, technically your boy Bekt is the champion of the 2021 Deadman mode tournament. If the rules that started this tournament applied, I would have insta-won this tournament, because only alts could log in. I was the only person here with any gear, and they said we will not at any point under any circumstances restart the final, because they messed this up so badly, though they obviously had to restart it. But if they followed the rules, your boy Bekt would have just shredded a few level 3s and a few level 36s and went through and took the 20k home. But our boy Mod Splash logged in and was like, can you all please log out so we can restart these servers? I was like, yeah, no problem, let's get this going. Now this was a massive mess up at the start, but this is only like the beginning of what went wrong this night. So first off, the 4 world system was a wee bit flawed because it wasn't full. They were expecting there to be 512 people in each world, which would have made it fair, but 480 people logged into the American world, and I think it was only 250 in the Oz world and 300 in this world. So that meant everybody who logged into the American world instantly had a big disadvantage. They had to pretty much have another fight to get the numbers even. So them guys lost, half of them pretty much were wiped out before we even got our first round, which was really good for us because we had a quieter world, but kind of unfair for them because half of them just didn't have the same kind of advantage as if you had logged into the right world or this world that had lower people. In my first round, I insta won just because I logged into this world, which was pretty cool. And then I got paired with the biggest unit in the game, which was pretty unfortunate for my first round. Not only does this dude have an Ellie, and there was only 16 Ellies in the game, somebody done the math, he also has an Arcane Spear Shield. He's just an absolute mammoth. He has the maximum gear possible in the tournament, and I get paired with him in the first round. 2.5 hours of waiting, we finally got our first fight underway. I was thinking this dude would absolutely shred me with his gear, but not a bit of it. The first 60 seconds, I was completely ripping him to pieces. I was so shocked with how well these knives were doing against this dude. He did get super smart about halfway in. He started freezing and just trading 1 hit for 1 hit, but because I had so high mage defense, he was actually struggling to get a splash, or to get a freeze on me, which was quite good. He was super smart the way he played this, though. He filled the room with myth seeds. If he hadn't have done that, freezes wouldn't have worked on me. If he tried like freeze and step under, I'd just plant some flowers and keep working him, but because he done that, he took that away from me, and as the fight went on, he did start to rip me to pieces. But that first 60 seconds was quite cool. We were completely shredding one of the biggest dudes in the game. They say all good things must come to an end though, and for us this is sadly the end of our Deadman Mode tournament. We did completely kill it this season. We made an absolute fortune in the regular version of the game, but this dude finished us off with a 58 bolt to the head, and I'm kind of glad he did, because as you guys probably already know, the rest of this tournament went downhill massively. I'm sure you guys already know what happened in the finale, but for anybody who missed it, there was this crazy DDoS attack on JetX's servers that was so big it actually affected a ton of other servers as well. Even Twitter was showing signs of disruption during this finale. Some people have actually said it was just bad timing or bad luck on JetX's end, and this attack was actually on some other company, but the timing was too perfect. It had to be in this finale because there was a delay on this starting, but as soon as the fighting bit of this tournament actually kicked off, this attack kicked off. You could barely notice it at the start of the first and second round, but by the time it got to that third round, people were just starting to lag, and it just got worse and worse. I'm going to show you a wee clip from the final fight here.
So having to like change up their strategies of what they expect to see from each other is really important.
I just saw a staff bash come in though from 1013. I'm not sure how I feel about that one.
Yeah, potentially a misclick.
Okay, this may be why it seems like we are once again potentially having some issues in terms of network attacks, but hopefully it will stabilize and they continue. That would probably explain why I'll not insult 1013 any further until I'm the next victim of his.
Yeah, the finale got so bad with lag that the fighters actually stopped attacking each other at points to let the lag pass a wee bit. It was quite nice there was 2 friends in the finale where they could actually do that. Right, I was just finishing this video up and I've seen some horrible stuff on Twitter at the minute. Mod Husky and Modlina put a load of effort into this Deadman Mode. They were really passionate about it. They went out of their own way to do podcasts before in their own time about Deadman Mode, and they're getting some shit about this DDoS attack. This was so big that it affected Twitter's servers. There's no way little J-mods who create content for the game could have done anything to prevent this. Now, JetX is a whole company. I don't know. I don't really know how DDoS attacks work. Maybe they could have done something, but these guys giving Modlina and Mod Husky some abuse just because they are the face of Deadman Mode, kind of. They're the ones who went out of the way to do these podcasts because they were so passionate about it. Them guys done an awesome job with the sigils. They done an awesome job with creating Deadman Mode and the content, the 3 live system, the tier system. All of that stuff was really good, and I suggest you guys give these guys a bit of love on Twitter, because they're getting so much shit, it makes it less likely that there will ever be another Deadman Mode. What J-mod is going to want to put their time and effort into it if it goes a little bit wrong in the finale and they get all that good work they done just thrown out the window and they get some bad stick over it? If you guys want to be nice, show them some love, because I love Deadman Mode. I really hope there is another one in the future. Anyway, that is all from me this Deadman Mode. If you guys have made it this far, you are pretty awesome. I'll catch you guys soon. Take it easy. Bye.